Hi everyone, this is Abhishek Bhardwaj. I am an M&E professional and I work on various impact assessment studies. I also work with NGOs for their M&E strategy. Today we are going to discuss data quality and integrity and keeping the narrative right. So, under this, I want to start with my experience throughout my career in M&E and even before when I used to work as an instrumentation control engineer. Data and its accuracy and reliability have been very important, and this is something which I have continuously worked upon for improving so that the people who are using the data, they get the right insights, they get the right information, and they get to make the right decisions. So basis this, we will be discussing further towards various points of our discussion. First being the data quality, what it is, then why it matters during impact measurement to ensure that the data quality is maintained and managed well. Then we will get deep dive into various practical challenges in data collection. Under this, we will get into how to plan for data quality during the design phase, how to use technology to enhance and maintain the data quality which is being collected. We'll take one example which is available on the open web, and we'll utilize that example to understand how technology can help us to manage our data quality in the field. Then we will get into how to manage quality and how to ensure data consistency. And then later on, we will also get into ensuring data quality during the data cleaning and data analysis phase. What is data quality? Now, under this, there are 5 parameters which we look at whenever we want to identify whether whatever data we have, qualitative or quantitative, whether it is good quality data or not. One, it is accurate. It is going to measure whatever it is supposed to measure. Then it is consistent. Whoever measures it using the tools, same everything, whatever data we will get will be same. Then it is complete. Whatever data we are measuring, it is complete, it is whole in its complete sense, for the lack of better word. Then it is collected at a timely manner. It is collected on the right time when it is supposed to be measured. If we measure any data before or later when it is supposed to measure, then it might not have the value which will inform our decisions for the program and for program design. Then it has to be relevant. Whatever we are supposed to measure, whatever we are supposed to monitor, we are measuring the relevant indicators. The data we are measuring is relevant. The tool we are using is relevant. The scales we are using are relevant to measure that data. Now, we know that what is good data quality or what is data quality. Now let's get into why do we want to manage data quality at all, especially in impact measurement and reporting terms. One, that the reliable data will help us to report accurate program information. Whatever we will be measuring, and after using that data, we'll be creating any report or any other collateral, it will ensure that our reports, our documents which we are creating, are accurate and they are credible. They reflect whatever is happening on the ground in the right manner. Then structured sampling and consistent data collection and quality control reduces bias and errors. So if we have good quality data, it will ensure that the biases are addressed. There are no sampling bias, there are no spillover bias, there are no other kinds of biases which are there. If we use smaller sample size, which is not representative, if we use data collection methods which are not consistent in terms of if we remove one data collector and we put another data collector, if we don't get the same data, then that data collection process might not be consistent. And the quality control part of it reduces the biases. In quality data management, the insights are relevant. The insights which are generated are relevant. They are relevant to the context, the specific context in which they are being measured. And this ensures that the impact which is created or the effects of the program which we are measuring in the right way. So the data quality management becomes important. Now, well managed data quality also reassures stakeholders that whatever impact report we are generating, whatever indicators we are presenting to them are sound and are reflective of the actual conditions of the program and various contributing or attributing factors of the program are presented in a reliable manner. Moving ahead, now we get deep dive into various practical challenges in the real world of data collection. First point which we want to discuss is the data collection planning. Now, if we are thinking about good data quality, the first things we should ensure is the sample itself, whatever sample we are preparing or whatever sample criteria we have, whatever sampling process we are going to use is in line with the kind of data we are going to collect. It is representative of the population we are going to connect for collecting data. Now, for quantitative data, we know we can use stratified sampling, we can use randomized stratified sampling to get a representative sample. Wherever possible in quantitative surveys or quantitative methodology, we should approach it from a scientific point of view, that the people who are selected, they are selected in a stratified manner through the stratified randomization. Now, there are various methods of stratified randomization, and these methods can be deep dive into to understand how to do that. And we do it beforehand. And then we take the beneficiaries list, then we randomize basis the criteria we have decided. We randomize the full data and we select the randomized data before going to the field. If we go to the field and then we think of randomly selecting the houses or randomly selecting the respondents, it might become more of a convenience sampling if we are not planning it beforehand. For qualitative data collection, what we can do is we can use purposive sampling, where based upon our sampling criteria, we can identify various types of stakeholders which are involved in the projects, and we can identify someone who's left out of the program, someone who's dropped out of the program, someone who has gained at a certain level in the program, and people who have also outperformed in the program. So like this, or basis whatever the requirement of the research is, we can do purposive sampling basis, these selection criteria which we can identify, so that we have diverse kind of perspectives coming in for our qualitative data collection. So we can set quotas of ages. If we have different age groups, we can set quotas of that. If we have different genders which we are addressing, if it's a women's SHG program, we need to address all the women who are part of the program, who are participating in the program. Otherwise, if it's a education based program, then we should ensure that there is equal representation or proportionate representation of both the genders or other genders who are involved in the project. Then when we are planning interviews or FGDs, we should ensure that we are also getting in point of views of our key informants. These key informants could be the community leaders, these could be the program beneficiaries from different phases of life or different backgrounds, different income groups. So like this we can do purposive sampling. Moving ahead, now in practical challenges in real world data collection, we look at technology integration into our data collection process. Now, before going to the field again, the tools which we have created, they need to be digitized. We need to identify which tools need to be digitized, and then what all logics are required, skip logics for questions, or which beneficiary will answer which kind of questions. So all those things we need to identify, have the tool ready in the languages where in which we have to implement them, and then digitize those tools. For software, for selection of softwares, there are multiple softwares available in the market for data collection. Here we will discuss, for our case, we will discuss Survey CTO's case, but there are other data collection softwares also available like Kobo and others. Now, for data collection tools which are aligned with the research type, the quantitative tools, for specifically for quantitative tools to leverage digital platforms, our motive is that they will be able to achieve the scalability. We are using technology to achieve the scalability. If we have to collect data, a large sample size of data, then technology can help us to collect that data quickly and with least amount of errors compared with pen and paper data collection. While qualitative data collection, it requires tools that support in-depth capture and recording. We can use voice recorders, we can use photographs, videos, different types of qualitative inputs, profiles, or these kind of qualitative inputs we can get from the field using again technology. Nowadays there are a lot of translation softwares or transcription softwares, AI based, are also available, but the language is a barrier. Now what happens in our Indian scenario, Indian context, the languages are varied, and then on top of that the dialects are also varied. So for qualitative we have to depend a lot, while data collection we have to depend a lot on human expertise, but at least we can record the data so that we don't miss out on anything, and we register everything which is required. Now, how are these tech tools utilized for efficient data processing? We set clear protocols. We set clear protocols for quantitative data collection. We set clear protocols for qualitative data collection. Like for quantitative, I stated that if this question is answered yes, then these are the set of the questions which are needed to be answered. If this question is answered as no, then what are the next set of questions, so that the data collector is not overwhelmed by the list of questions. By looking at list of the questions, they don't have to use their discretion to identify which question they should ask or which question they should not ask, because this will entail some kind of human error creeping in, where some data is collected which was not supposed to be collected, and time is wasted, a beneficiary's time is wasted, and the data which was supposed to be collected, that's missed out. So the data collection softwares, they help in these kind of things. Whereas in qualitative data collection, whatever data we have received, we have transcribed, we can put it on Atlas TI. We can use NVivo for doing thematic analysis without losing depth. Now for tech uses, it also helps in data auditing. So what happens is, when we are in the field, we use various methods to ensure data quality, which we'll be discussing later on. But before going into the field also, we can, if we are using technology, then we can assign certain data auditors who at the back end could listen to whatever data surveys, quantitative data surveys are being done. They can listen to those. They can identify whether all the relevant questions were asked or not, whether any question was skipped or not, whether any question was modified into probing question or a leading question. Because we should not ask questions in the form of leading questions where the beneficiary is influenced or the respondent is influenced to answer in a certain way. We also check, we can also ensure while doing the training of the data collectors, we tell them you can ask questions and then you wait for the response, and then the response can fit into the alternatives or the options which are provided in the quantitative survey, and then they can take the right option on their own, on their mobile or tabs which they are using. And then the data auditor can check whether this is being done or not. And this is not done on 100% basis, even though that can also be done, but this is done on sampling basis. For per day, per data collector, a certain number of or certain percentage of surveys are 100% audited to ensure whatever data collection they are doing is correct or not. For qualitative survey, it is the selection of the data collector which becomes more important. Then they should understand what are the objectives of the research program, research study, so that they can probe on their own. They can do on their own whatever probing questions they need to ask, or they can facilitate the FGDs in a better way. They can probe in the better way to get more and more rich qualitative data. Moving ahead, we'll get into a case study. Now in this case study, we are using a case study which is publicly available on Survey CTQ's website. We'll use that, how Magic Bus India Foundation utilized Survey CTO to get the best of both the worlds. Because even though when you are using technology, you need some kind of human interference or overlook to ensure that the quality is maintained. Now, for Magic Bus, the challenge statements were that the traditional paper-based surveys were error-prone and slow. They needed to ensure the confidentiality of the paper records, and these paper records posed risks for data security. Then expanding the data collection across 3,000 communities required greater efficiency, for which technology was utilized. What was the solution? They integrated their Survey CTO platform with their internal automation system for automated sample selection. So they not only did data collection through this, but they also did sample selection through the data collection software, which reduced errors and it ensured consistency. Now, digital data collection, switching to Survey CTO, it also helped cutting survey time from 45 minutes to 18 minutes. Because the cumbersome papers or sheets or the reports or the registers were not supposed to be carried, and the data collection was done on a single tablet or a phone, mobile phone. It reduced the time, and it reduced it drastically, which increases the efficiency of data collection also. Now you can increase the scale of data collection also. Now the staff was, because of this, the staff was also freed of for other tasks, because they were using less time for data collection. They could utilize their time for more program related, more impact creation activities. Now, in their program, there was an end-to-end integration. Secure data pipeline was also created, where there was a connect from data collection software to their own internal software, which ensured that there was an improved data security, which also ensured timely reporting. So we can clearly see in the end that, one, there is efficiency gain in utilizing technology. Second, there is a broad adoption also increases, because now more and more people want to adopt this. So the adoption by multiple departments of the technology increased. Now, in order to address the challenge of data consistency and quality control, what we can do about this, how to manage consistency and quality when we are in the field. The easiest way to do this, as I explained earlier, that field supervisors and data auditors conduct daily checks of quantitative data for inconsistencies, wherever there are gaps, wherever there are some errors which they have identified. They regularly, if not daily, they monitor and they also debrief qualitative interviewers to ensure key themes are being captured accurately. After debriefing, there could be also some kind of reflections which can be done, how these interview schedules can be improved, what can be added, what more themes are coming in. These things can also be discussed during these debriefing. And then there are statistical tools, there are methods which can be utilized for ensuring consistency in the data collection process. One of them is the inter-rater reliability, where the same tool is implemented on one of the respondents or some of the respondents out of the whole sample size, and then we try and calculate the inter-rater reliability rate. And if the rate is going low or it is kept at a minimum level, that ways we can see whether the data collection process going on is reliable or not, and we can manage the data quality in this way. If the data collection process at any point of time we see that there are inconsistencies, we can retrain the data collectors. We can rehire. We can remove the data collectors who are facing a lot of challenges, or we can provide them some support. We can take suitable actions to ensure data quality. Next challenge being, we have collected all the data. Now we have all the data through our software we have collected. What happens afterwards? How do we ensure data quality then? Now we have a lot of softwares which are there, because these softwares also give output in terms of Excel or CSV files. Now we can use those Excel format files or CSV files to be cleaned using SPSS, using Excel, using various other softwares. We can do the data cleaning. Like in SPSS, we can use box plots to see what outliers are there. In Excel, we can see what are the gaps where there is no data present. Then maybe we can remove those entries. Maybe we can fill up those entries through various statistical methods, either by using average at that position, or using the pattern, what is being followed, a proportionate pattern for missing data. So we can identify whatever our strategy is, we can identify during the design. So these things should not be done post facto, but these things should be discussed and clarified and approved Sometimes there are scientific review boards also. So these things should be reviewed and approved by the board or the approvers in the team who have a little bit of more experience or expertise in this, how we should tackle whenever there is any missing data. So that can also be done. So automated checks identify the outliers, like I talked about using SPSS box plot to identify the outliers. And careful coding can also help reveal patterns in interview. So the coding also needs to be done carefully. Even though we have NVivo, we have other, Eclipse TI, these kind of softwares, but the coding, the themes, whatever is coming out is done manually, or some human intervention is needed, so that we can see that whatever qualitative analysis also we are doing is done in the right manner. Now in this, there are some latest technologies which are coming up, like use of AI, ChatGPT 4 or other AI based softwares, and those also what I'll suggest the thing, and this comes from a previous experience from working in control systems, is when you automate any system, any process, when you automate, you need certain level of supervision of that control system also, whether the output which you are getting out of the automated system is aligned with the desired output or not. If there are any gaps, if there are any quality based issues, because AI functions based upon whatever prompts you give and how good prompts you are giving, and that is also human, so that can also induce errors into the system. So a good supervision is needed in terms of AI based outputs also. Now, moving ahead, if I look at the whole presentation, we can identify certain best practices, and we can focus on those best practices, and we can adopt other best practices also, because we know that when we are working, we are also learning, and we tend to reflect on our past projects and see what has gone wrong and what could have we done better, and in subsequent projects we implement those. Now in terms of best practices, let's go through this one by one. I'll be reading through my slide, and we can go through this. And moving ahead, looking at the best practices, let's look at them one by one. Whatever we have discussed, so this is also like a conclusion to our discussion. So during data collection planning, what we can do is we can plan for representative sampling and select appropriate tools for each method to maintain data quality. We can use stratified sampling for quantitative data and purposive sampling for qualitative data to ensure a balanced representation. In terms of using technology or integrating technology, technology could be used to collect large scale quantitative data effectively and efficiently, and technology can also help collect and analyze rich qualitative data. During data collection process, we can implement quality control protocols, include regular data checks, and consistent training for data collectors can be done to ensure data integrity in the field. Post data collection, for during data cleaning, analysis, and insight generation, we can use automated checks for quantitative data. We can do rigorous coding for qualitative data to preserve data integrity during the cleaning process. We can employ triangulation to integrate both quantitative and qualitative findings effectively, and that will ensure we get good and rich insights which can inform our decision making for the program and for program design. Thank you so much for attending this module, and I'll take my leave now. Thank you. Thank you so much.